statement. If they say fine, it means no one knows what is in the womb of the animal's womb, if they want to put that argument, and say that it's not referring to a child, may refer to some other organs or what is the capacity of the blood or whatever, etc. is there. If they want to say that, as long as they agree with it. And a very good example I can give you is the first verse of the Quran to be revealed of Surah Iqra, chapter number 96, verse number 1 and 2, where Allah says, Iqra bismi rabbika allazi khalaq. Khalaqal insana min alaq. Read, recite in the name of thy Lord who created. Who created the human beings from a congealed clot of blood. The word alaka is there. So most of the previous commentators, they said that alaka means the congealed clot of blood. And human beings have been created from congealed clot of blood. But after science advance, we have come to know that human beings have not been created from the congealed clot of blood. So alaka basically has got three meanings. One of the meanings is the congealed clot of blood. The other is something which clings. And the third meaning is a leech-like substance. So today, after science is advanced, when a few of the Arabs took these verses to Professor Keith Moore about 20 years back, when he happened to be the head of the Department of Anatomy in the University of Toronto in Canada, and at that time he was one of the highest authorities in the field of embryology, and said that these three are the meanings, and does the embryo look like the leech or not? So he said, I don't know. He went in his own laboratory, and under a powerful microscope, he observed the early stages of an embryo, that is of a human child in the initial stages, and compared it with the photograph of a leech, and he was astonished at the striking resemblance. So now we come to know that a leech-like substance is correct. Science about 20 years back had said that human beings are not created from blood. This was the old Greek philosophy. So we say, fine, the Mufassirin earlier made a mistake. There are other meanings also. Congealed clot of blood. And the third meaning, besides congealed clot of blood and a leech-like substance, is something which clings. And modern embryology does tell us that the embryo clings to the uterine wall. So the other two meaning is correct and the first one is wrong. But now, after science has further advanced, we have come to know that the various embryological stages spoken in the Quran in various different places, besides Surah Iqra or Surah Alaq chapter 96, it's spoken in other places also, including Surah Mu'minun, chapter number 23, verse number 12 to 14, where it speaks about alaka, mudga, izama, a leech-like substance, then a chewed-like lump. So here we come to know that the Quran is speaking about the various stages depending upon the formation, the shape, depending upon the appearance. So here we know that if we take congealed clot of blood as an appearance, we know that in the initial stages, in the embryo, the blood does not circulate and it appears like congealed clot of blood. So initial stages, the embryo does look like a congealed clot of blood. So even the first meaning, which was taken by the earlier Mufassirin, later on we thought they were wrong. Today, we have come to know it doesn't mean that we have been made from blood, but it means that the initial stages, the embryo does look like a congealed clot of blood. So after science has further advanced, we have come to know that all three meanings are correct. So what we believe, that what Allah says is perfectly right. We human beings, when we interpret any verse of the Quran, we interpret with a limited knowledge. And some verses of the Quran are absolutely clear-cut. There are no two different meanings. For example, Qul huwallahu ahad. Say He's Allah one and only. So these verses will remain the same from day one till day end, till the last day. As Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 7 and 8, that some verses of the Quran, they are muhkamat, and some are mutashabiyat. Some are established meaning, some are meanings which are not very clear, we'll only come to know later on, or by referring to the hadith, or maybe after science advance. So here we come to know that the basics of Islam, how a life should be led, everything about Tawheed, about Salah, they come in the established verses of the Quran. The other verses, after science advance, we'll come to know more about it. So as far as the womb, your question about Surah Luqman, chapter 31, verse 34, if someone says that no, it can refer to other womb, maybe. But surely it's not going against established science. So if they say you are not talking about the child, talking about something else, as long as the meaning is right, we can say maybe. But once, if we have a reference in the Sahih Hadith about the commentary of the verse, then you cannot change. But since there is no reference in a Sahih Hadith referring what this Surah Luqman chapter 31 verse 34 actually means, we are relying on our knowledge, what we have. Our knowledge can be wrong. The previous Mufassirin, they did make a mistake by saying sex, because easily today we can come to know the sex of the child. So there are various answers that can come. Whichever the person feels more convincing, he can agree with that. Like, why not to have pork? The reason not given in the Quran, it's not given in the Hadith. You can have 20 different reasons. Few may convince you, few may not. Maybe out of 22, 3 may be wrong later on. So it's our mistake of interpreting that verse. But Quran says haram is haram. Pork is haram. Why is haram? You want to know. You may do research, science advance, you will come to know something. Whatever you know today may be proved wrong tomorrow. But the basic what the Quran says, it is haram is haram. So basically when the Quran says no one knows besides the other 5 things, including what is in the womb, no one will know besides Allah. Hope that answers the question.